government actually says that you met them last week. You had a productive meeting, as it's been described, and it says it's committed to considering your plans in detail and has actually been waiting on further information from SNAG. So what has brought you to issue this statement today following a productive meeting like that?
I mean, the Special Needs Action Group has had many meetings with the government. Thursday was one of, obviously, the last meeting that we had with them, and we offered the government solutions as we have offered them since the beginning, obviously, of the meetings that we've been having with them. But this does not mean that we will not come out publicly and say what needs to be said, and obviously report on the slow progress on what we have been highlighting and the slow progress that has been made in this regard.
Did something trigger the decision to issue the statement today? Something in particular in regards to slow progress you described?
Well, evidently we feel that despite our many efforts of obviously highlighting the many issues and reporting it on the media and sending many emails and having these meetings, we feel that not enough progress is being made. I think we've highlighted it on the press release that was made today, and obviously we've gone through all the points, and what we have presented to the government are solutions. When they claim that they are waiting for further plans from us or further updates from us, it's quite the contrary. We hope that they take our solutions. They were meant to be reported back to the Chief Minister, and we are hopeful that they take them on board, and we can only suggest and hope that they take them on. I think the notion of persons with disabilities being seen as objects of charity and, to have to keep on relying on NGOs is the wrong one. What we want to urge the government to do is to improve their services, improve their provisions, and, start creating better opportunities of further education, better respite opportunities, better therapy services and provisions. But these can only be provided by the government.
Let's unpack some of the issues you've highlighted in your statement that have also been addressed by the government. You say that care agency staff are not trained in dealing with children with disabilities, well, some staff at the care agency, in the context of providing respite. However, the government says there's been a specific team dedicated to deal with respite that have received core training, as other care agency staff have. So what exactly is the issue here?
Right, so what we find, and we have plenty of accounts, and we have it's documented in enough emails that have been shared freely with us by families and parents, is that the care agency often subcontracts care workers from different care agencies, and they are often only trained on basic supervision and care. What this means is that they're not trained on disabilities, and often are not providing the adequate care that is necessary to deal with persons, children or young adults with disabilities. And on a side note, even if the care comes through the care agency, for the carers in the care agency, very often they struggle to find carers or staff that are properly trained to deal with young adults or children, or even older adults that have more complex and severe needs or behavioural issues. The consequence of that is that many families go without respite, cannot access respite services because there are no professionals that are trained or have the adequate training to deal with those children or young adults.
Well, now that the government has responded to your queries raised today, what's the next step for SNAG?
Well, we want to urge, and we will continue to publicly raise these issues, because there are issues like the introduction of an overnight respite facility, more training for the carers, further education facility, because children or young adults are forced out of St. Martin's School, and the only option for them is St. Bernadette Centre. This is something that has not been addressed yet. The therapy...
A SEND facility has been announced very recently.
Yes, but that is a community support centre. That is an add-on provision that's going to be introduced by an NGO. It won't operate as a therapy centre such as Assomull in Spain, and it's not a further education centre. It is going to be run by the education department. So that is not a further education centre that will provide full-time education for those that need to leave St. Martin's at the age of 16. That is something that the government has to provide, and that has not been identified yet. So as it stands, children that leave St. Martin's School will need to go to St. Bernadette Centre, because they have no other place to access full-time further education. And this is why we're asking the government to obviously do something about these issues that cannot be tackled by an NGO.